Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, The Wealthy Mindset. It's yours truly, Money Making Mitch. And as usual guys, this is not financial advice. Please do your own due diligence and research. Before we get started with this video, all I'd like to ask you guys to do is give the thumbs up on the last video. It was very successful and YouTube pushed it out to more people. And this is one of the biggest thing. I want to bring awareness to NEO, especially because a lot of people, especially here in the West and in America, have no idea what NEO is. So the more you guys interact, put comments, give the likes, YouTube will push the video out to a wider audience and bring more awareness to NEO, not just the channel. Also, I'm going to leave a link in the comment section. One of our own subscribers here from New York started a Facebook group, a NEO Facebook group, and I'll leave the link so you guys can join. And we're gonna see how we can, post my videos on there. I'll try to get back on there somehow. And but I'd like you guys to support this group as well, because we're gonna weed out all of the negative sentiments, block people that coming in with negativity and trolls. So if any troll is looking at this video, don't try it, buddy. So what do I have for you guys? Well, some of the things you all probably already heard, some of it probably went over your head. And one of the things, this is actually a reporter that interviewed William Lee, the CEO of NEO, after NEO Day, whilst there. And some of the things he said, I was just going over it, and it actually blew me away as well, and showed me why we're going to become profitable very soon. Very soon. It's going to blow you guys away. So let's start with this video. The reporter said he went to NEO Day, and it just wasn't any NEO Day. It was the biggest, literally and figuratively, most important, consequential and controversial NEO Day in the event's history since it was first held 7 years ago in Beijing. There was a lot on the plate, and I'm not going to go over the whole article. I'm just going to touch on some of the points, guys. So it says in the 10-year history, startup NEO, synonymous with battery swapping, which has 3,003 at the time of this report, swap stations, 3,003 swap stations, have completed over 61 million battery swaps for NEO customers in China. So much so, and this is my intake, not what this guy is saying, but so much so that even cattle is jumping in now, just like the cheap knockoff Ample. I think it's Ample in America, trying to do it because they realize it's the only way forward. This is why I've always said NEO is the only winning business model, and it's the only way forward, because it benefits not just the corporation, not just the shareholders, but the consumers. It's a win-win situation for everyone. That's how you know you have a winning business model, because after 8 years, the cost that EV still retains value, unlike a different EV that doesn't have battery swapping. After 8 years, it's worthless and it has to be taken to the junkyard. Amongst many other things, right? We know you only have to wait 2.5 to 3 minutes to swap a battery while you're inside the warm car, instead of in the freezing cold while you're waiting to charge. Anyway, it was the biggest ever in terms of attendance, over 222,000 people, including owners, media, supplier representatives, industry ecosystem partners were there, and investors joined the event, almost filling up the park's 24,000 people seating capacity. It was the biggest in terms of new products and their price gap. The most expensive NEO, the ET9 that we all know about, was launched at a price range of 788,000 yuan, with delivery starting in this March. With the least expensive NEO in the form of a smart electric high-end small hatch under the Firefly brand, NEO's third brand, was revealed and began accepting pre-orders at around 20,000 US dollars with the battery. So without the battery, perhaps 13,000 something. That's mind-boggling on its own, because this is going to be a small boutique, technologically advanced 5-star safety rating little car. Unbelievable. So rather than just one product, which we normally reveal just one on NEO Day, as is usual at past NEO Days, two completely different animals on two opposite ends of the product spectrum were presented. A halo car, the ET9, a halo car, and a technological tour de force with some of the most advanced hardware software technologies targeted at business professionals, the ET9, and a cool, funky, agile, and quirky high-end small car for those that pursue freedom and love of life, no age limits, the Firefly. Unbelievable. Think of the 7 Series, the reporter said, and the Mini or the S-Class and the Smart, but a few generations ahead. But a few generations ahead of those. It was the most important since it came on the heels of NIO's 10-year anniversary less than a month earlier. So we would have expected nothing less. We wanted something dynamic, and that's what we got. It was an important occasion to celebrate the company's achievement over the past decade and the widening user community that has become to define the NIO DNA. We are here to stay. So I remember when the shorts and the trolls and the negative Nancy's were coming and saying, this company will go bankrupt. They can't say that now. I remember when they said battery swapping was a waste. They can't say that now. One of them even came recently in one of my past videos and said he can't see NIO coming to America because it will destroy the American auto industry. A lot of people will lose their jobs. Well, you see, the European auto industry is also being destroyed, but yet we're not even over there in a big way. So what this fool, this clown did not understand is NIO is different to any other Chinese EV company because where we go, we form partnerships where everyone benefits. So we form partnerships with the electrical companies and we supply power to the grid to stabilize the grid, which will be desperately needed if America really starts adopting EVs, which they will if NIO comes because it will be affordable and technologically superior. What he also failed to realize is we'll also do partnerships with the other car companies in America, and they too can do battery swaps. And what he failed to also realize is when the Japanese came to America, and I tried to explain this to him, but I think it was just a short nonsense. I'm sorry to go off topic here, guys, but just bear with me. I explained to him even when the Japanese came to America, they blocked the Japanese at first with Toyota, with the superior cars, compared to the American junk that we have here. But when Toyota was finally allowed to come in, did the American auto industry go bankrupt? And he got quiet. But he came with another rhetoric. But the point is, this history repeats itself, and that's how you know how to invest, using history as one of your best teachers. So when NIO come here, the American auto industry will have to innovate and try to keep up, just like what even Elon Musk said. They will have to innovate to try to keep up, but NIO will do partnerships. That's the big difference. That's the denominator. Anyway, guys, it says nearly 1,200 NIO owners were there, and I'm going to skip through some of this. I don't want to bore you guys, but I want to get to the yummy part of this video. So it says it was also the longest event. And it also spoke about, he also spoke about Xpeng CEO that was so blown away by the ET9 and saying he really thinks it's going to sell really well. And he went on to say it was my second time ever attending NIO Day in person, this reporter, and by far the most memorable. The first was the very first NIO Day back in 2017. Back then, industry Fremies, Li Auto founder and CEO Xi Zhang and Xiaomi founder and CEO Li Jun were on stage to help Li introduce the ES8, NIO's first model. Now imagine that, guys. That just goes to show you it's just a matter of time before these guys also partner up with battery swapping. It's coming. It's inevitable. There was no marketplace and no NIO brand then, but the enthusiastic user community that defined the first event has remained a constant feature. And this is why I said we will win because of superior customer service. These customers are volunteering to help because they believe in the product that much. And Li remained as steadfast as determined. Safe to say, besides the Beijing and Shanghai auto shows, NIO Day feels like the next biggest industry event of the year, the reporter said, because of its unique format and industry influence. So he says, if you ask me to summarize the ET9 and Firefly in simple one-liners, I would say there are executive sedans, then there are ET9 sedans. For the ET9, and smarter than smart and more mini than mini for the Firefly, as Lee would put it. What reason would you have not to buy the ET9 in that segment? I quipped on my WeChat moments. The highlights that stood out for me was the video that was shown where industry heavyweights like Dr. Herbert Diess, former CEO of Volkswagen Group, and Dr. Yu Kai, founder and CEO of Horizon Robotics, conversed with Lee as they tested out the capabilities of the Skyride full active suspension, which NIO claims to be the world's first, listen to this guys, it's the first integrated hydraulic fully active suspension with an active suspension electric drive unit inside the shock absorber, allowing the ET9 to adapt an ultra-large range of transient adjustment capabilities for stiffness, damping, and height all in one. It's the first time these things have been incorporated together. Dr. Diess was seen saying it is impossible. It's impossible, as he and Lee successfully performed the 5-layer champagne glass. So I'm going to skip by some more of this FUD, guys. And it also showed, he also talked about how the Maybach, he says the Mercedes, the side-by-side comparison of the ET9 and the Mercedes S-Class Maybach going through speed bumps simultaneously with ET9 remaining eerily stable, but the Maybach shaking violently drew laughs and made some of my PR friends over at Mercedes cringe. Other videos show a Firefly outsmarting a Mini and a Smart in a head-to-head competition, transversing a closed-circuit powered the brand's versatility. So that just goes to show you, just like what the Envoy is doing, the Firefly is going to do it to the Mini and all the other small cars in that segment, because it is going to be superior, just like the Envoy, for its segment and its class. So I'm going to skip by some more of this FUD. And he said the next morning, Lee took a variety of questions from a dozen or so foreign media, including myself, for about an hour. Topics range from the ET9 Firefly design controversy, battery swapping rollout partnerships, and standardization, Envoy L60 production ramp, export tactics and principles, and geopolitical uncertainty and industry outlook. Below are highlights of his responses. So first, Firefly design controversy, pricing, and European prospect. William Lee said it's within our expectations and better than we have this debate. It's difficult to have a design and styling that pleases everyone. Our goal was to have a design that tries to convey all three brand DNAs into one. Vivid, thoughtful, and solid at the same time. So for those who think that this is just some small little car, it has features from the ET9, it has features from Envoy, it's all of them combined into this little boot. That's why they call it a boutique little car. It's different, but we hope it's logical for the global audience. Base pricing for the Firefly will be below 100,000 yuan globally. Debut of Firefly would have been in Europe, and prospects there would have been better had there not been EU tariff, but still plenty of opportunities. And confident a Firefly competitiveness to address a market of about 4 million vehicles in the A and B segments. 4 million, guys. European launch in the first half of 2025 for the Firefly. Envoy L60 production ramp up on customer behavior. Ramp up towards a monthly delivery run rate of 20,000 units by March has been within expectations. We all know that already. Slightly faster than normal, while ensuring quality. 3 battery suppliers, BYD, CATL, and CALB, together supplying the batteries. Then he talks about long-term European and global market entry principle for Firefly and broader NIO group. See, as investors, these are very important things we need to know to give us that confidence, knowing we're going to become millionaires with this company. Long-term European and global market entry principle for Firefly and broader NIO group. One brand, one country, one partner, collaboration format for all 3 brands worldwide. The US market is a highly profitable market, even if product addresses a niche segment, but nevertheless, a tougher market to crack into due to tougher legal and geopolitical uncertainty and tariffs, he said. Preparations have always been ongoing, but absolute top priority is to focus on the Chinese domestic market, where it's the world's biggest and most competitive, not America, China market. If you don't come out of this cutthroat competition at home, a winner, you cannot become a true global company over the next 3 years. China remains our top priority. While preparations will continue to expand to additional global markets, European production will be a reasonable business decision and a matter of scale, but only makes sense if NIO Group sales yet top 100,000 units. Now, battery swap standardization, partnership and overseas expansion. He says long-term there will be standardized battery pack sizes for power swap depending on price and segmentation. For NIO, there will be 3. Call it 1 for NIO, 3 for Envo, and 5 for Firefly. Excuse me, guys. Discussions have been ongoing with CATL. With CATL about cooperating on standard battery packs. There's a lot of resources to be shared and opportunities for cooperation where NIO and CATL could be responsible for operating certain networks compatible to the same battery pack standard. And remember, guys, I reported on CATL actually UXIN, Ushin signed an agreement with CATL so CATL will provide the same battery as a service for the used car market as well. And incidentally, William Lee invested heavily into UXIN, and I spoke about that many times. Anyway, but rollout of swap stations for Firefly will be much faster, only a third of the cost of NIO swap stations due to a simpler format and lower construction costs. NIO battery swap partners will primarily benchmark on the Envo battery pack standard and follow a 4-step process. First, framework agreement. Second, product technology roadmap integrating battery swapping. Third, vehicle development. Fourth, market launch and operation akin to cloud service, where it starts as an internal service first, matures internally for several years before opening service to external customers. Therefore, it takes time. Business strategy principle. Sticking to vision of becoming a global company, servicing more customers and best customer experience, so they can never say, I was not satisfied with my EV. Through battery swapping, so they don't have to wait in the freezing rain and the cold and the heat. But in terms of action, need to adapt faster to charging external environment with low latency like the ET9, faster charging. And it's coming with all our new NT 3.0 platforms. Significance, and this is the key, this is the yummy part of the video, guys. This is going to blow you guys' mind away. Significance of the Shenji 5 nanometer smart driving chip, the God chip. That's coming on the ET9 first, and then also it's coming on all of our new updated models next year, our NIO models. But listen why. A matter of business decision because it improves gross margin. This is why the emperor is saying we're going to be profitable by 2026. Let me say that again. A matter of business decision because it improves gross margin, system performance, and mitigates supply chain risk. Remember, under the last administration, the Biden administration, they were starting to block the sale of certain chips. And this is why we were always thinking ahead. When everyone was saying, just make EVs, don't worry about chips and phones and battery swap stations, I said, shut your mouth, pull your pants up and be a man, and you'll also make some money. So he said, system performance and mitigate supply chain risk. Currently, 4 NVIDIA RNX chips per vehicle, that's what we're using currently, for 200,000 NIO vehicles incur a huge cost. No more huge costs, guys. No more huge cost. The God chip is coming now. In-house, improved margins in a massive way. And this is why, one of the main reasons why they're saying we're going to become profitable all of a sudden and in a massive way. Oh, yes, indeed. One thing to have, what would you have done differently? The guy asked, the reporter. He says, more aggressive with battery swap stations. He said we should have been more aggressive With battery swap network expansion, instead of having stations up and running in most of the counties in China by the end of next year, would have been better if this goal was achieved 2 years earlier. 2025 keyword for the industry and NEO: reshuffling of the industry landscape and leap forward for NEO. So, guys, I hope you all understand now, for those who don't, where this company is going. We are going to be in the top 10 by 2036, according to the CEO. I say the top 5 because a lot of them are going to fall to the wayside by that time. So I hope you guys found this video to be informational, inspirational, and motivational. If so, guys, do not forget to hit that thumbs up. It takes a lot of time to do these videos and editing. And if you haven't yet subscribed, you might want to think about doing so, because in this channel, we are waking up the middle class for the first time to get a major piece of the pie, to get it from the ground level up as to how the game is played in Wall Street. Like 50 said, we get rich or we die trying, guys.